Hi, everybody. Just wanted to jump in at the start of this one to say that this one was recorded quite a long time ago. And when we recorded it, we actually thought that this was going to be the first episode. So you will hear us kind of try and explain the concept of the show a few times, as you already probably know. So just wanted to put that disclaimer out and hope you enjoy. Okay, here we are. This is one of our first few of these, so we're just kind of getting into it. We're very excited to have Blake Prohl here with us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
And basically, we're here to facilitate a conversation that will now lead into what we're going to write about. So, Austin and I are Park Wild. We're songwriting production team. And people come through the studio, artists, writers, and we write with them. And
new faces every day.
Every day. And we have the most crazy conversations. So we wanted to share it with everyone. And here we are.
Who knows, maybe a hit will come out of this.
Yes.
That's right.
That's the goal.
Yes.
That's absolutely the goal.
Yes.
And so here we are. How are we doing? What's new?
Doing great. Just rehabbing, going through this injury, had 2 surgeries, and yeah, I'm just here for a few weeks, and obviously got to come see you guys. You guys are the best.
Hell yeah. Blake is a Vikings player, by the way.
And also a phenomenal singer.
That's correct.
And he just happened to shoot a music video for the song that we got the fortunate, opportunity to jump on of his.
No, I'm super excited about it, guys. It's going to be sick. You guys will see it everywhere. It'll be awesome.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So we're out of the tundra. We're in some 85-degree weather today.
And I go right back this weekend too. So
oh boy.
Oh geez.
It's literally, I think the last time I left it was -20, like with the wind chill. And when I got here it was like 60, so it was like an 80-degree jump.
Oh
So
damn.
that was nuts.
Yeah.
I jumped over to Dallas literally yesterday for the day.
Really?
I flew in at like from 6 to 11, and then I was there all day doing some stuff, and then I flew back. I just acted all secretive like I'm doing some stuff. No, I'm
music stuff?
I'm a private pilot, so I'm looking at a little airplane.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Dude, the weather, I was thinking, oh, Dallas, it's going to be warm. It was freezing.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I did not pack right.
It gets cold here too at night, but it's nothing like the tundra, dude.
Yeah.
That's
well,
sick,
I mean, Austin gets a little of it from New York, but it's But you were there. The first time
I was there, it was -30. We literally threw boiling water over our shoulders.
And it like freezes, right?
Instantly.
Oh, yeah.
That.
Yeah.
It freeze like the doors are freeze from the inside out. Isn't that crazy? Like I have a video of like a frozen door that was inside like with heat.
Dude, that's nuts.
Or when you try and open your car door.
Hey, I park underground, so I'm good. Dude.
Oh well, there we go.
Yeah, I'm
all
glad I
right.
can shake
I'm
that.
talking back in college days, like trying to pull your door open, scrape off the windshield.
That's nuts, dude. I don't have to deal with that. Thank God.
So how's rehab going?
It's good, dude. The 2 surgeries is what was weird. Like they have nothing to compare it to. So it's like I always ask, like, where am I at? Like, what about OTAs? Like, can I like run with the squad? Like, and they're like, we don't really know. Like,
Damn.
they kind of. It's not as bad as like Teddy Bridgewater's, where they thought they were gonna have to like amputate his leg, but it's like in a gray area between like an ACL and then like something like that. So it's like,
Yeah, no, we gotta see your ass out there. Let's give a little quick background.
Yeah.
Because obviously we know you, but quick introduction, where you're from.
Yeah.
And I think then also how your path through football and everything led to music.
Yeah,
dude.
That video with your grandma going viral.
Yeah, that was nuts. Yeah, this past year has been crazy. So I grew up in a football family. My dad played for 17 years. He went to like 4 Super Bowls, so he's like the GOAT as like a white receiver, like me growing up, like I wanted to be exactly like him. My brother as well, and we just followed in his footsteps. Everything was sports. I played basketball, baseball, football, and that's what literally put food on our table. So it was so like normal for us to just play sports. Like we didn't take choir, really no instrument lessons, like none of that. And I always
Did
like
you sing in the shower.
I would sing in the shower. I would like sing in the shower, sing in the car, and people would like randomly or like in the grocery store, I'm just singing under my breath, and people would be like, yo, like, you have a really good voice. And I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, people would try to get me to go, like, choir and stuff. And I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
I play football. It's like a tough thing. You know, when you're young and you're kind of just like, it's cool, like, to play sports and be like the jock, kind of.
Oh yeah, I got made fun of when I was a kid for tap lessons, but I was also in musical theater, so it's like, and I played sports.
But like now, that's sick. Like looking back at that, that's so cool.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
I wish I would have done that. You know.
yeah, I wish I would have stuck with it.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I just went to college, went on scholarship, like played at East Carolina University, and then was a free agent and got into the league this past year. And I was a rookie, and I had this injury. And what happened was I recorded a song. One of my friends, I was like singing in the shower on like a trip or something, and he was like, he like plays with stuff at his homie's little studio, and he was like, dude, can you please just do like a cover or something? So I did it, and it was John Mayer or something, and I showed it to my family, and my dad had no idea like I could sing like at all, and like it got like my family emotional, and immediately like resonated with me on a whole different level. Like, yo, like this is something that I can connect to people with, you know, like on a deeper level than just like sports. And I like completely fell in love with that instantly. And then like that was like about a year ago today. Not today exactly, but like
Yeah, for sure.
last year when I was training.
So that was a cover. When did you pick up the pen
That
and
was a
start
cover.
trying
When
to
did
write?
I start writing?
Yeah.
That was really recently, like a couple months ago.
Hell yeah.
Because like I was just doing covers. I was like, I've never really written. I wasn't good at English class, like, you know what I mean? So I never was good at like writing poems or anything. But it's really different, you know, like coming up with melodies and just like what really flows. And that was probably in the last couple of months I made that TikTok. I was told to make a TikTok. That's where all the artists are. So I did it. Set up the phone with my grandma, and I woke up and I had like 200 followers, like a couple of videos, and then I woke up and I had like 100,000 followers,
Oh,
like
wow.
overnight, like 10 million views, and it just kept going. And I was
Damn.
like, this got really serious really fast. Like I gotta start like writing, like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's now you almost have like two parallel careers. You've got
Yes.
this music thing and you've got the football
yeah,
thing.
yeah. People.
Good thing you have an off season.
No, you're right. Holy crap, dude. No, you're right. So yeah, I started writing a couple months ago, and I'm just learning, dude. Like I'm not great at it yet at all. Like, and I love like what we're doing now. Just collaboration, I think, is like the best thing.
Oh,
Definitely.
dude, some days you write a hit, some days you miss.
Yeah, 100%.
It's no different than a football game in
Yeah.
that sense. Like you have an on day, you have an off day.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like you just keep taking swings, you know.
Yeah.
So and yeah, dude, I'm really excited.
That's great. Well, we loved the first song.
Yeah, it's a great
We were
song.
grateful to be a part of it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys.
And so now we're trying to strike magic round 2.
yes, dude, for
Yeah.
sure.
So what's
Trying to
going
make
on
like
in your
a
life?
upbeat type of
Yeah.
song.
We got to
like,
figure out what the sound is.
100%.
Yeah, we should do an up tempo for you. That'd be kind
You
of
know
cool.
what I mean? Yeah, because I'm, you know, I can get like pretty hype. Like I can see myself on stage being like insane sometimes. And I can also be like really slow. Like I write a lot of like on my own. It's so easy for me to just write like a ballad or like something
I feel
slow.
like that's most artists.
Is it?
And
Yeah.
most writers.
Yeah.
For sure.
Have you performed?
Never.
No.
Just football wise, like, and it's so different.
Yeah, for sure.
So no, I've never performed ever. No, but I'm really excited to like do that. You know, in
Hell
the
yeah.
future. So
Well, I feel like with football, you would probably you use the crowd's energy, but you don't really interact with them as much as you would on stage, where you're trying to get people to.
exactly. No, you almost like, to be honest, like football wise, when there's like Minnesota probably holds what, like 70,000. My college stadium held like 55. So like whenever you're playing, like you don't even hear the crowd. It's weird because you have so much adrenaline. Like during a play, when you're like focusing on the ball, it's like everything goes radio silent. It's like really insane. And then there's certain moments like you get to silent, everything like turns back on. It's like a switch, and it's like, holy crap, there's a lot of
Damn.
people watching.
Is it like a little blackout?
Yeah, it's like it's a complete blackout.
Like all of a sudden you're in the end zone, everyone's
Yeah.
freaking
I
the
mean, that's
fuck
what
out.
happens on stage for me,
yeah.
and
That
for
is
you
true.
too.
Yeah.
It's like,
See, that's really
you-
cool. I've never seen that side. So like I imagine it's the same in a way, like because you're performing both ways. It's just, you know, different ways.
Right.
it's being like hyper present in the moment.
Yes, exactly.
But I think one. I mean, they're obviously they're both really impactful things. One's a bit more emotional.
Yeah.
Music's probably a bit more emotional. Well, unless you get to the big games, and
Definitely.
I mean, every play you put your heart into it. But you know, at least in terms of music, you're talking about love and romance and all of that. Not to segue, but what's kind of going on in your life?
100%.
What are you willing to share? Give me some ammo to write about today.
I know, right? I'm trying to think. You know, I've been listening to a lot of like, so I feel like everybody's writing about like love stuff right now, like love songs and like girls and stuff. I've been listening to a lot of like older, like when I was younger, like feel good songs, like traditional music, like The Script, like One Republic, like stuff like that. And I feel like that's the most inspiring music to me. Like I'm trying to just think about, like, for me this past year's been really tough, like because I did my whole life like train for this opportunity, and then it's just in a snap of a moment, like all that's taken from you. So not to go on like a sentimental route, because obviously we're trying to write a beat song, but it's almost like understanding the moment, and like I feel like it's more about like living in the moment and like understanding that your dream could be taken away, like life could be taken away.
Dude,
like,
that's terrifying.
you know what I mean? It's super terrifying. It's super scary, but at the same time, like, do everything you can in the moment, like smile, have fun, laugh, like, and that stuff right there puts it into perspective. When everything's going smooth, you almost get on like a little high and you get like taken away.
Yeah, my dad always says you don't know the good in life unless you've experienced the bad.
100% agree with that. Cause I wouldn't take it away. Like I wish I would have played this year and I was on a track, I was balling and all this stuff, and then boom, right before my first game, like I get hurt, and I didn't know if I'd ever play again. But without this, I wouldn't be right here right now.
Yeah,
That's
You know what I
true.
mean? I wouldn't have made a TikTok. I wouldn't have got into singing. None of that.
Right.
So
And now you might be able to do both.
exactly. So I agree with that for sure.
it's almost like that argument between like, do you believe in destiny, do you believe in fate, or do you believe things happen to you and how you react to them? Kind of.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. So I feel like a song like that for people, maybe some people have had a lot of smooth sailing recently, and just to give them like a check on like, hey, like you don't,
Reality
this
check.
isn't. Yeah, exactly. It's like a reality check. That's really cool.
I feel like that happens to me quite often where maybe it is a TikTok video, maybe it's a story that you read somewhere or a story someone tells you, but I feel like I honestly kind of love those reality checks sometimes
Yeah.
where it's like you're feeling some sort of emotion, you're super upset about whatever, and then something kind of checks you and you're like, damn, like I could
Yes.
have these problems or I could
100%.
be going through this, or and it doesn't, I don't think it means that because people have it worse than you shouldn't have the right to ever feel bad or down or upset
Definitely.
about something. But I think sometimes I go into a runaway cycle where I'm just kind of like I kind of carry it into everything else,
Yes,
right?
100%.
You go into the
dude.
session kind of feeling like just out of it. You go through the next week,
Yeah, like the
maybe.
off weeks that we've had.
Yeah, and it's
Definitely,
just
dude.
like sometimes,
those are real.
well, and sometimes that reality check brings you back, and all of a sudden you're like, what am I doing?
Yes.
Why am I upset about this? I have
No,
so
you're right.
much shit going on, and I have so much good happening.
Yes.
And I honestly kind of love when that happens.
Dude. Yes, I agree with that 100%.
I think there's definitely a lane to go in a songwriting fashion that is all about that reality check. I mean, yes, you had the injury and you had all of that stuff. Is there any other things we can kind of pull from that
Yeah.
might, fuel that fire a little bit? Like, not to go back to relationships, but like past relationships or any of that stuff. Or like, I mean, for me, it was a reality check when I lost my grandpa when I was younger, and like that was the first time I experienced that, and that kind of hit me pretty hard. And that was like oh wow, life is finite,
temporary.
right? Exactly. And so it's like happiness is temporary, but also sadness is temporary too. There's that interesting polarity in life.
Yeah.
And so I just wonder if there's anything we can pull from your story to kind of add to the depth of the message getting across, because the way that I see songwriting is everything has to come from a seed of truth. You can then obviously extrapolate and enhance the story to bring people on a crazier journey, but it has to start from a seed of truth from the artist. That's how I kind of feel the process flourishes best.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Well, I guess though, thinking about it, the injury itself could relate to a lot of those other moments. I mean, you could take
absolutely.
the emotions from that. I don't really even think we ever talked really about it though. But like the moment that it happens, because I've never had a crazy injury like that. I don't know about you, but when it has
your brain
that
go in that moment,
right?
Like I remember it was during a one-on-one drill, and it was in the beginning of like we were playing the Broncos in like like a training camp type of deal. So there's like a big crowd. It's cool, like one-on-one. I had beat like one of the top safeties in the league on a basic route.
Yeah, you had.
And I was like super excited. So I was like feeling the juice, kind of like adrenaline, free agent, like I'm out here like balling, like blah
Hell
blah
yeah.
blah, proving everybody wrong. And then I come in, I have some type of like, I don't know what it is. It's a sail route, and I just book it across the field, dude. And my adrenaline was pumping, like, and I just remember I'm full stride, and I tried to just plant my foot like out of nowhere and just come out at an acute angle, like going full speed. And it just like, dude, I remember it was like slow mo. Right when I planted my foot, like I heard like 4 pops in my knee, and it like inverted like out of socket, kind of. Yeah, it's really
Dude, that
nasty.
gives me the chills, bro.
And it was like touching the ground in my body. I was still standing up. So I was like, and it just all went slow mo, like boom, like everything like shut off. And like it was almost like the whole fall, like I fell straight to the ground, but the fall was like slow.
Yeah.
And they said like everybody, it would happen really fast. Everybody was like, oh, like the whole crowd was like, ugh, like, you know, when everybody does that.
Yeah.
And like I didn't hear any of that.
Was
like,
it just
nothing.
the team around, or was it?
No, it was like there was probably like 20,000 fans.
Oh shit, the preseason?
No,
Or is this like training camp?
Training camp. They have
Oh.
like big bleachers all around the fields.
Did you feel it in that moment, or you just heard it more than felt
So
it?
so that's a thing too. Like I felt it, but like I wasn't all the way there because the adrenaline and then like the shock, like you don't. It's almost like you go numb. It's like very numb.
Yeah.
So like you hit the ground and I'm like screaming in the ground because I do like know something just happened. So it's like it's almost a mixture between like mental, like I'm in shock, and also like okay, I'm actually in pain.
Sure.
So like and I knew it was like the whole inside of my knee because I tore like 5 ligaments and my patellar tendon was like ripped halfway like the opposite way and stuff like that. It was nasty. And I was like screaming I was like grabbing my trainer, like he definitely had like
So
more.
the pain came in.
Oh yeah, dude, the pain. They
Ugh.
put me in the room. They put me in the training room. They like did the whole thing where they had to like lift me up on the cart. Like I went off like, well, you know, like at games you like waved, everybody's like clapping, like all that. That's an interesting moment too, like when you have to like act like you're okay, like
Yeah.
put your hand up or whatever.
Dude, that's some serious like mental strength right there.
Oh yeah, dude. And then they're in there and you can't move your leg. They're trying to like basically check out your leg and stuff. And I remember him grabbing my leg to check it. And usually like I tore my left ACL like 6 years ago, just my ACL.
Yeah.
And they like check it and they're like, I think it's like might be torn. This one they just like grabbed it and it was like floating and they were like, all right, I think that's good. Like they didn't even check it. They just grabbed it. I remember like looking at his face and he was just like, yeah.
Oh.
Did this one
wow.
hurt worse than the last one?
Oh my gosh, yes, dude.
But I also think with time, though, our brains diminish the hurt and pain and things. So maybe in that other moment, it did hurt pretty bad when you messed up your left knee.
Yes.
But this right one sounds
Yeah, nuts.
next
And
level, dude.
just like the hype of like I'm in the NFL, like it's just everything was way worse, like on a way bigger scale, you know, like
Yeah.
the stage, everything.
Did your brain go to like, oh shit, my career's
Yeah,
over?
like immediately I was like, if this felt like I just like, your mind goes everywhere. Like, oh, maybe it's not that bad. To they might have to cut my leg off. Like, you know how your mind just starts like going, like it's
Well, because it happens. I
Yeah.
mean, and it's amazing to me because you've been doing these drills your whole life.
yeah,
You've been running. You cut the angles. You put
yes,
like you've built up the strength.
millions.
You
of
know what I
reps,
mean?
yeah.
Like I've
But
been
you've
trying to
also,
do.
like put the micro injuries into it too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I know, but it's just so interesting because like I've been trying to do some of that more like longevity training where you like put certain angles and weights on your knees and your ankles and try to strengthen to have it not be like, oh, I'm super strong. I can
Yeah.
like do whatever with my knee. It's so that when I'm 80, I can still run around like because I put the work
Yeah,
in. I'm trying
100,
to, so I'm not getting hurt. And it's so interesting to think that you could be doing these things your whole life and just one wrong like angle.
Yeah, dude.
Just
You're so right. It's a I don't know what they call it. It's like a freak accident, you know? Like it's not normal. Your leg's not supposed to do that. It's just a
Right.
weird way to put your leg. Like I'm a Christian, so I really believe in like that was for a reason. Like that's not
Reality check.
You know what I mean? Yeah, literally.
right. And so you
So-
could probably equate those feelings. I mean, I think it's maybe not as intense, but every time Austin and I get the email or the call, like, nope, you missed this one, or you have this huge opportunity and then you just like don't get it,
Yeah.
or
100%.
you could equate it to a breakup. I mean, you literally are losing instantly in that moment. You're like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
like everything's done.
And I think too, like in moments like that, for me, you find out, you know, people around you and really like who they are in your life and like
what you're made of, man.
Yeah, exactly. So like they put me in the room and I remember they just left me like for like an hour for the rest of practice. So I'm in there by myself. They just left me like we'll be back like cuz they all had to go out there for practice. There's 2 teams like so they got to be out there making sure they're okay too. And who was it? I think it was Justin Jefferson. He came in there cuz he was hurt at the time. And he just like put his hand on me and like prayed for me and said like, bro, you're gonna be okay. And I was like screaming, dude, like I was crying. Like you would have thought I should have needed to go to like an asylum.
You thought your career was over.
Yeah, like I should have like it was bad. Like I was loud, like and I was in there, but like lights were off. Like it was a dark like time for sure. Like that whole hour felt like days.
Yeah.
But that's definitely like around that time is when you find out
that moment too.
Yes,
for a song, man.
100%. It's like that's a very angry moment right there. You know, that's a lot of anger.
That's a cool angle to take a song, actually. I didn't think about it. It's like the reality check, but how much anger that can be in those moments. And it's almost retrospective. You don't realize it until afterward that the reality check is a good thing.
It is a good thing. But in the moment, it doesn't feel like a good thing.
Well, and that coupled with the pain, I'm sure.
Yes. 100. Yeah, I like that.
You could definitely relate that to like relationships too. It's also that thing. It's like if you have a family member that's going, would you rather them go slow so you could say goodbye, or would you rather it be quick? It's like that whole thought process too. And there's just so much to unpack here in a song that I feel like we've hit a really cool concept. I'm not sure many people have written about.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't think I've.
The closest I could think of is like "Live Like You Were Dying."
Oh, is that Tim McGraw?
Yeah, that's the closest I could think.
Dude, I freaking love that song.
Yeah, let's go country today. Just kidding.
That song is gas.
No, but like if you think about music in that way, the thing is like I interpret that song so differently than you and so differently than you, but at the same time, there's this universal core to it that is just so real and so raw. And I saw, I think it was, I'm trying to remember who wrote it. But I was at a writer's round, and they were talking about it, and it was just like, the truth. That's what it is. It's the truth.
Yeah, it is. It's no like cutting. There's no like cutting around it.
I think that as an artist, it'd be important to share that message for sure.
That's exactly why I believe because I'm one of the people that want to like give that to people to like have them relate to it, or like we said, reality check like. So for it to happen to me, like I feel like it was for a reason because I'm the type of dude that would like relay that message to people.
Yeah, absolutely. You're an honest guy. You have great, artistic integrity. Yeah. And I think that even, if you want to dive in a little to the first song that we helped you produce out here and tweaked a few lyrics and did the bridge with you, but like that song, you wrote with some friends outside of this room for 95% of it.
Yeah.
What kind of came from that moment?
So that's about the relationship I'm in now.
We're still in. We're still in it.
Yeah, it's going well. I've struggled in the past relationships like with committing because I've always been so head first on like my occupation or like football. Like I was so. And for me, like, that's a different emotional side of me. So, like, so basically what happened was she told me that she loved me before I left for Minnesota.
And you didn't say it back.
And I didn't say it back because I knew I'm not good at, like, being, like, fake to somebody. Like, I couldn't say it back because it wasn't how I felt at the time. So it was like, I just sat there. And it was the worst moment ever, dude. Like, I don't know if that's ever happened to you guys.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Because like
sure.
and I knew it was coming. Like I was, I had said bye and it was just a normal bye, and then I went inside and she called me like 10 minutes later, and she was like, "Can you come back outside?" And I was like, "What? Like come back outside? You're still here? Like is the car cool? Like what's up with the car?"
Yeah.
So I go out there and like she's just sitting there.
Guys were all like, "What's up with the car?
Yeah,
is the car all right?
Like where's pop the hood? Like
right.
And I like get down there and like she like slowly gets out of the car and instantly like I don't know what it was, like it just hit me. I was like, she's about to like say it.
Drop the love word.
Yeah.
Damn. How long had it been at this point?
It's been less than it was probably like 7 months, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like 2 weeks,
Yeah. So
Oh, that's a legit relationship you were in.
yeah, it was pretty
still are in.
solid, dude. So she said it, and what I said was, it took me a second. Like I was like, I probably didn't do well. Like at first, I think I put my hands on my face. I was like, like this hurts, because I didn't want to hurt her. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you care about her.
Yeah, because I know what it feels like to like love somebody, and it's like, wow, like I don't want to like ruin this for her. And I ended up telling her, I was like, when I do say it, you'll know it's true. Like, you know what I mean? Like when I do say it, because I didn't say it right now. Like,
And
you
that
know I'm
was
not
the
lying.
seed of truth from the
And
song.
that was the song.
But that's respectable too. I mean, there's a risk in hurting that relationship with that move, but there's also something in being true to yourself and truly meaning what you
Yes.
say, which now that we're in the future and you're still together, it's going to probably be a lot more powerful
No,
and
it is.
real. And so I think there's something respectable to that,
No, you're
even
right.
though it's a scary move to make.
Yes.
Well, and if you just think about that moment from her perspective, it's not that dissimilar from what you went through with your knee.
100. Yeah. See,
Yeah, it would be
that's
crushing.
trippy.
Oh, absolutely. When you are fully open and committed to somebody, it's such an experience to say I love you to somebody.
Yeah.
You know, more than obviously like you say it to your family because it's just innate, it's there, but this is somebody that was a stranger once and they're
Yeah.
now this person that has taken up so much emotional space in your life to then be, you know,
Yes.
the love.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Nuts.
when they're willing to say that to you and you know, not that you just cut it off cold turkey, but like you want those words said back to
Yeah.
you. Like going back to that's a freaking reality check.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, the first time with my girlfriend Morgan, the first time I brought up the conversation of, are we together? Are we
Yeah.
going to be boyfriend, girlfriend?
Oh yeah, I remember.
She basically
this.
was like, no, I'm not ready yet.
Yeah. Dude,
And-
like,
You
how
were
did you feel
broken
about
for a
that?
day.
Well, it's that same thing. It was just kind of like, it's just crushing because
Yeah.
you're not expecting it. And all of a sudden you're sitting there and it almost feels like a breakup in a sense. It just
Totally.
feels like, okay, then is it done? I mean, that's where your mind goes.
That's
very
what I was
quickly.
saying. Your mind goes like those are little moments.
Right.
Where your mind like goes both spectrums.
Right.
That's
And
the verses
so-
of our song.
Yeah.
Where the little moments where your mind goes.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
the verses.
Yeah,
well, and
that's
then
sick.
my thought was, okay, do I go and have a more in-depth conversation about this? And that's like where my mind went. It's kind of like when you go through a breakup. The first thing
Yeah.
you want to do is like talk and be together and figure it out. And so when this happened, that was my inkling. I still remember the next day. I remember the session. I hated the song. It was one of the worst sessions I probably ever had in my
Dude,
life.
you were like not in it that day.
Well, and I just didn't like the song or anything, regardless. So
Everything was
it
just
was
I was
just-
I was probably pissing you off. that day.
it was like one of the few rainy, cloudy days in LA, which
Yeah.
I love the rain and clouds. Shout out Minnesota. I fucking miss it. So enjoy it while you're there, even though it's cold. But it just, I eventually just kind of put it to the back of my mind and went forward, and eventually everything worked out.
Yeah.
But in the moment, it
dude,
seemed like
it's
that wasn't
tough.
going to happen. So yeah,
Not easy.
you know, happy ending.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, for me, like, my current girlfriend and I, like, I had a breakup out of the blue. And I just had a feeling that it wasn't done. Like, that's where my brain went. But I also knew that I had enough self-respect for myself, to let them have their space and let them handle the situation they needed to handle. We then ended up having a conversation a few days later and realized the breakup should have just been a conversation. And maybe it was a bunch of pent-up things that hadn't, you know, come to fruition.
Yeah.
Or not fruition, that's not, like, come to the forefront. And, you know, that reality check there was like, all right, we need to communicate.
Yes. Communication's like everything. Mine's long distance, so like, and I'm not a good like texter. Like I like to just FaceTime, and she just finished up her season, so she swims, so she was in season for a while, like from the fall. She just finished,
Yeah.
and like it's hard, dude. Like long distance sucks.
Did you meet
Or
her in
you almost-
college? Or?
Yeah, met her in college.
You almost have opposite seasons. Or,
Yeah.
or I guess they overlap
It's like
a little bit.
similar,
and then
but like it's like the same kind of, but hers is like
a little bit
extends
longer.
after,
Sure.
you know. So it's like, yeah, it's tough.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think, like, if we lay out our verses about those little moments and then kind of come to this more universal truth in the chorus, I feel like
That's fire.
well, yeah, it's fire, but
It's fire.
I feel like we've got to kind of tackle a few other aspects of it too. It's like we got to kind of paint the picture of those little moments a little more in depth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, can we just for a second go back to talking about that
Yeah.
hour in the locker room?
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like that's the most, not that you haven't had other moments, like we've just explained, we've all had those moments, but for you, that's probably the, like, if your life was a Broadway show,
Mm-hmm.
that's probably the end of Act 1.
Yeah.
And, you're maybe starting into the start of Act 2,
Yeah.
but it's that end of Act 1 that sets up the rest of your life. And obviously I'm not saying your life's going to end anytime soon, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that, oh yeah, that was like 22.
Here we go.
I'm not saying that. But what I'm trying to say is like that hour, like, I mean, I just did acupuncture this morning and I was in the chair for 30 minutes and my brain wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
24/7.
Uh-huh.
So like can you paint the picture of those thoughts?
Yeah. It's like a roller coaster of thoughts too. And what was the craziest thing too, like the setting wise, is I was in the training room that I'm in like every day. I'll come and like stretch out and it's like a lit up like training room. It's usually like people like messing with each other, like all my teammates. And then like the boom, I'm like there, the lights are off, nobody's in there. Like it's like I see it on the complete up, like the world upside down. Like it's almost like what's that show, Stranger Things? It's like the world but the upside down.
Yeah.
It was like that kind of.
Dude, that's trippy.
Yeah, it was super trippy. And I also got put into these rooms, like the doctor rooms where they examine you, where I've never been. So it's like I like went into these rooms I've never been in. Like it was like this crazy emotional roller coaster. Like those thoughts are like very like I don't know if I even had one positive thought that whole hour. It might have been longer than an hour, dude. All track of time was gone. Like we talked about earlier, it was just the thought of like I just got everything that I worked for. I'm 23 now, 22 at the time. Like for 20 years, like everything that I worked for is gone. Like I was a free agent, so I wasn't a draft prospect where I get hurt. Like cool, I gotta come back. Like I get the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
I don't get the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
I worked everything through this. Like I wasn't a big star recruit, so like everything I did was like after hours, like before school. Like so I did all these things, got the opportunity, and then boom. So like all that's running through my head. Like all that is like I'm screwed.
Right.
Like basically, like what's my agent gonna say? Like you start thinking about your family. Like what am I gonna do? I went to school and majored in communications, which basically means you major in football. Like
Right. Like what are you going to transition
exactly.
to?
And like I didn't have like music. Like I didn't think like music has been everything. Like music has been everything for me. Like in this process. Like
Yeah.
like it's where I can literally put everything onto like a track and like relate to people. Like if I didn't have that, I don't know like how this rehab would be going, you know. But yeah,
Sure.
dude, that
Well, you're also blessed that the team stuck with you.
yeah, 100, dude. I could go into that for sure, dude. Like I'm so blessed to be able to put in Minnesota with my trainers. Like there's some trainers that is like
Skull.
family now. Yeah, Skull.
Skull.
Skull. Nah, dude, there's some like trainers in there that I've gotten so close to. It's like family, dude. You meet these people like certain avenues like that. Like we said, that in the time of like when I'm in that room, like it was so dark and angry. But now I've met like so many people through the process. Like
Right.
you know what I mean? And now it's like I said, it's like family, like forever relationships. So it's like
That's awesome.
that's where the beautiful stuff comes out. It's like the roses and the thorns concept, you know?
There's a whole angle that
Yeah.
I wasn't really. I mean, we've kind of addressed it, but like the actual metaphorical and on the lyrical side of things, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah. No, that's sick.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, since we're here, do we have any crazy NFL, football, anything wild that you've
Anything
experienced just being in that world and being on such a grand stage?
yeah, you have an experience that most of the world, I would venture to say 99.99999% of the world will never get to experience.
Yeah.
Like I get we're in COVID and
Yeah,
you've
I was gonna
experienced it
say
through
that's
that.
one thing that was so the NFL was so different from college because it's like grown men. Like you like walk in, like you got the young guys, and then you got like people who are like 35, like and they're
Right.
trying to take your head off. Like you know what I mean? So it's like it's weird because in college like you go in facility like and then you're like all right let's all go like to the house like you're all right there. like everybody kind of checks in and then checks out in a way. Like you're close to people, but COVID rules too. Like you're not really supposed to be at other people's houses. So that was a little different. Like they took
Yeah.
away the TVs and stuff, so we couldn't all just kind of chill in there, play spike ball. Like we would mess around. But
And you're fighting for your job.
100%. Like that's the thing too. Like this is literally how I like make a living. So
Right.
it's not like college. Everybody's like enrolled, like, you know, and you're fine. Like that is that'll test your faith. Like that's where you have to sit back and be like, I do this. You got to remember why you do it, and just like go back to when you were a kid. Like that's why people are like, I just play backyard football. You know what I
Right.
mean? And that's when you perform your best too. Probably musically too, when you're just doing it because you love it.
Yeah, well, we've had those moments for sure, especially because both of us right out of college, we never got another job. We just did this.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
we said if we want to do it, we've got to commit to it full time and figure it out and make it work.
Yeah. See,
You
that's sick. That's
we-
so cool.
Well, and it's like if we had a quote unquote, whatever the equivalent would be in music of an injury and you lost it all,
Mm-hmm.
where do you turn?
Yeah.
I went to school for entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Like, okay, start a
Exactly.
business
Like you
or
want to go
whatever.
to a
but-
9 to 5? Like no.
right.
Like you
So-
don't.
No disrespect. There's a lot of respect in 9 to 5s.
For
but
sure.
For my personality, for your
Yeah.
personality, and for yours,
Yeah.
it doesn't make
It
sense.
doesn't fit.
Right.
Right.
I think the craziest thing too for me, I don't have like a nut story honestly, but for me, when I first got to Minnesota, Adam Thielen was literally my favorite player, like favorite receiver. I hate that he's gonna hear this because I don't tell him that because this dude's like, he's already
He's never gonna let you live it down.
yeah, dude, like I'm screwed for sure. But I remember like it was our first meeting. I knew the vets were gonna be there, and the rookies are like, you know, you're about to meet the vets. And Adam was like my favorite receiver for years. Like I watched him in college, Monday Night Football. We would like stay up and watch football. And I remember and then you realize like you meet him, and then you're like, dude, this is like a normal dude. Like he's just really good at football.
We have
Like you know
that
what I mean?
experience in the
Yeah.
studio all the time. We've got
Definitely.
people that were like, "Yo, I dreamed of writing with this writer," or even these artists that the world knows,
Yeah.
and we're like, "Oh, they're literally people that have
Normal
heartbreaks.
person.
They're people that
They're just homies too. Like,
Yes.
you're just so chill. But
That's what social media does, dude. Hypes you up. They're on this pedestal. It feels like you're like looking up at somebody or like you're just far away, dude. They're just normal people. They just got all this attention around them, dude. They're normal people.
that's true.
You know?
It's funny with as soon as Adam joined the team, I instantly got his jersey. I was so
Really?
pumped. I was like,
That's sick.
this Minnesota kid walking on, coming up, and then just popping off, dude.
Yeah, he's
I
a
was so
beast.
pumped.
No, he's unreal, dude. He's a great person too.
Yeah,
Great dude. He
that's
doesn't get
awesome.
much better than Adam. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
It's good to hear too, because it's like I think a lot of times you'll hear through the grapevine,
Yeah.
oh, this person's an asshole, or oh, they're a terrible person.
Yeah, dude.
But it's so nice when you actually meet someone who has all the hype, who is in that limelight, and they're just super nice. They're
yeah.
and,
That really is the
and they're
most
just like a-
refreshing thing.
yeah, and they're just like anyone else who could have walked in that maybe has no following.
Yeah.
And so I just
Yeah.
love that when
Because
it happens.
I don't think people understand like how much power there is in having a pedestal like that. You can literally like change lives and stuff like, but they get
Yes.
so carried away in the fame or like I can do whatever I want because I have money or like I'm in the spotlight. Like, but you have so much power to literally like help like millions of people. So it's like I think the people who can understand that and
Yeah.
realize that is the people who can be like somebody like Adam and stuff like that. Have
For
morals
sure.
like what?
how do they feel about your music?
How they feel?
Yeah, your teammates. I mean,
Yeah, no,
what
they're
do they think?
hilarious. Like Adam will play he'll get on aux and start playing like my TikToks or something. Like I'm happy to actually have like a song because usually it's just me like talking on TikTok and then singing like a quick verse or something.
Sure.
No, they love it, dude. Yeah, they like it a lot.
did they hear the demo?
Oh no, I haven't showed anybody.
Oh shit.
I don't show anybody my stuff like that. Like besides like my manager, like people I wrote with and stuff
Yeah,
like that. So
for
no,
sure.
nobody's heard it.
What was that like? That's an interesting one. What does like your agent think about it? The fact that you have a manager.
Yeah,
in music
yeah,
and
that's
Right.
actually really funny, dude. I have the best agent though, like the best. His name's Chase Callahan, and he, like I just flew in last week, and I'm getting treatment here, and he's like, "Are you here for music or like football?"
Hey.
But he's just being like funny.
Both.
Nah, they're big fans of it too. Like as long as I'm taking care of both things, like like obviously business side of football, like I'm rehabbing. Like when I come here, I'm not just gonna come here just to do music. Like I have my agencies here, so it works out great.
For sure.
But yeah, it is really funny in the office. It was like, "Oh, you shooting a music video now?" Like it's football, dude. Locker rooms and stuff are hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a little frat house.
like, what's up, Hollywood? Like stuff like that. Like so, yeah. It's just like little stuff you put up with.
That's so
awesome.
funny. Have you had any interactions with people that haven't been so positive about the music aspect through football?
You know what? That's a great question, and honestly, I haven't really had like a lot of people. I surround myself with I will say I have a small circle. Like I don't. I kind of read like vibes and like kind of keep my distance. Like I won't even talk about like stuff that I care about, like music stuff with people that I'm not in the same lane with kind of. So like all the people that I talk to music about are people that I've invited into like my circle kind of, and nobody's, I think that's probably why.
Yeah.
Because I don't really like talk to too many people or ask too many opinions. I bet you there's a lot of stuff like negative side, but for me, I kind of distance myself from that. I haven't had any like super negativity yet, which I know that's coming, but for me, I mean, that's what everything.
Look, that's part of the game in music. You're gonna
Exactly.
have just as many people coming after you as
Yes.
the people that love your music.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about it, dude. If it was smooth sailing, then everybody would do it, dude.
Then it'd be weird, right?
It'd be super weird. It wouldn't feel right.
Then you wouldn't have that motivation. If everyone's
Yes.
just like, "You're perfect, everything's great," you're like, "Cool, I'm
Yeah.
good, I'm
Yeah,
done." But
for
when you have
sure.
people come out and saying your shit sucks, or you should quit, or you should do this, you're
Yeah.
like, "All right,
Yeah.
let's see,
Yeah.
let's
And
go."
it's gonna come. There's also gonna be the people that will probably be Minnesota fans and be like, maybe if he focused more on being a wide receiver and less on music.
Oh, dude. Yeah, for sure.
I'm not dissing Minnesota
fans.
fans. I'm a Minnesota fan.
Definitely.
I'm just saying I can understand that perspective
Dude.
because for some fans, that's their whole life.
Yes.
Their identity is the football team.
Dude, that'll eat. Like, I already know that's coming. Like, say I make a mistake or, like, something stupid. Like, say I drop a ball in a game or something. They'll be like, well, that's because he's been singing at night or something. Like,
Right?
he wasn't in his playbook or, like, something stupid. Like, that's so easy to. But, I mean, that's like I said, the beautiful part of it.
But if you're out there lighting it up,
Yeah,
and
then
then
there's
dropping
both
bangers.
sides of it, dude. There's definitely both sides.
Are we going to see you sing the national anthem this year?
Yeah, I'm supposed to. Yeah, I was asked to last year. I'm hoping y'all are gonna sing it too.
Hey,
dude.
we'll do it. Get us on there. We'll
That'd be
happily
sick.
do
we'd
it.
love to, dude. I mean, I grew up with parents that had season tickets every year,
Yeah.
and so I was at so many games.
Really?
I was at every game, and I always watched the national anthem. People come out, and I mean, Austin and I've been working together 10, 11 years now, and so
Yeah.
for a while we've been like, "Yo, let's try and get a national anthem at a Vikings game.
Dude,
like, let's do it."
Yeah,
and
dude.
so, maybe we can make
That
that
would
happen.
be sick. Yeah.
It'd be crazy.
I know the guy who asked me he said it's like people think it's like hard to do it. It's literally as simple as like, yo, I got somebody for week 8.
Oh, sick.
Well,
Yeah.
get us for week 9.
Yeah,
then.
100%. Yeah,
Dude,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, like it would just be so dope to have some excuses to go home, go to some games, do a national anthem. Like,
Yeah.
it would just be so sick.
Nah, it's
Well,
dope in
and-
there too. Dude.
And dude, do you get like during the football season, you're off the day after a game usually, right?
yeah, so usually the NFL.
So we could write. We could bring a rig,
Yeah,
literally,
dude,
and
that'd
just
be
like
sick.
chill out by like.
Blake's
getting
just
there-
sore as fuck. He's got the leg things on. He's using his
The
Theragun.
Normatec, yeah.
Yeah.
Or just like Blake, can you just put the Theragun more towards your neck for vibrato? Come on. Like,
Yeah, dude. It's like the NFL is like way more chill, like outside games, because they need you like fully ready for the game, 100%. Like, which is way different from college. You like go in for like a little lift or like watch the film, and then you're done for the rest of the day, and then you have that next day off too, and then you go in.
so we could do like a 2-day
Yeah.
writing trip
Yes,
after
dude.
we
That'd be sick.
do that. We
That'd
should
be
definitely do that.
We should 100% do that.
Well, the thing is, too, is this other song was kind of your first real song.
yeah. No, you're right.
And so now a ballad isn't the most difficult thing in the sense from a production standpoint
Yeah.
because you're more limited on your options. But now we have to craft a sound. Now we have
follow
to
it up.
find
No, you're right.
we have to find Blake Prohl's sound.
Yeah.
So we got to differentiate that, and we really got to hit that. So it's going to be very interesting where we end up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
this.
our
It's exciting.
process, where Justin's gonna kind of just start fiddling around and you're gonna hear something and it's gonna click.
Yeah.
I mean, it just always does. Everybody always asks, what comes first, the music, the lyrics? Literally, John, the guy I'm buying the little 4-seat airplane from, we had dinner last night before I flew back from Dallas, and he was like,
yeah, I see that.
he was like, so I have so many questions about this music thing. He's like, where do you get the inspiration? Like, what happens? And I was like, I just pulled out my voice memos, and I was like,
Yeah,
well, they sound like this, and
they sound nuts. my voice memos. Sometimes I feel like my best like things come in like nighttime or when I'm like waking up or like in the middle of the night. So I'll be like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you like just like try to get it in real quick, and then just so you can remember the gist of it.
That's
so
right.
That's also a perspective we could take. We can go listen to some of your voice memos right after this and see if there's anything that kind of emotionally ties with the theme we were going for.
Yeah.
It's like I could even like, instead of the words like reality check, I hear like, heart stop or like something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people on the outside of music maybe they don't have a huge burning desire or curiosity about how the process actually unfolds, but I think we're trying to also pull back the curtain a little bit on that by doing this show, in the sense that I think people really could identify and love songs more if they really knew where they came from.
Dude, what?
And the story behind it, and just also the curiosity of, okay, you guys have this conversation.
And
Now
we're
it's
having this
time.
conversation before we even write the
Yeah.
song.
Well, and it's now
Yeah.
now it's time to go write the song.
Yeah.
So where does a song end up? What does it sound like? What did all of this turn into?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty, I think, of
That's
what we're
gorgeous.
trying to provide here.
Unreal.
And so now, as we transition into the writing phase, we will stop here.
Yeah.
And the next stop for the listeners is
To go potentially
The song.
bother
the
Blake's
song.
bother Blake's, team and social media to release this record.
For sure.
That's right.
Definitely.
And so I think that's really all we have.
Yeah.
I need to see your ass out on the field this year.
Yeah.
I got to see that.
I'll be
I
out
need to
there.
see the national anthem
I'll
happening.
be out there, dude.
And we wish you the best. We're
I
glad the
have
recovery's
one other
going well.
question.
What
Have
is
you
it?
said I love you yet?
Oh, yeah.
Dude. Whoa. Whoa.